Gather around, millennials, and let me tell you a story. A story about the car everyone loves to hate and everyone hates to love. It's the Toyota Prius. But this isn't any Prius. This is a special edition Prius. You see, I've driven two vehicles in the last year that are very similar to this. The first one is the Chevy Bolt EV, and the second one is the Bugatti Chiron. However, this car has more in common with both of those than anything you'd imagine. The first one is, this is as luxurious as the Bugatti, believe it or not, and it is as fuel efficient, actually even better than the Bolt. And that's because I don't have to wait an hour and a half to charge the car. This is a hybrid, but it just requires gas. So rather than an hour and a half downtime, it's just a quick 5-minute fill up. And well, obviously I get better fuel economy than the Bugatti. So this car has it in spades. Even better though, is this Prius comes in at $11,000 less than the Chevy Bolt EV Premier that I drove. That's huge. Now, this is an interesting Prius because it's the 2020 edition. What makes the 2020 edition so important isn't the fact that they are honoring the pandemic, it's the fact that they're honoring the 20th anniversary of the Prius. So you'll see blacked out wheels, blacked out trim. There's some blacked out trim inside. And it also includes, well, it's just a Prius. There's really not much to talk about. The interesting thing though, this is a 2021 and it's called 2020 edition. And they've gone so far as to put that on the key, which is interesting because who would ever want to recognize the dumpster fire that was 2020? Now, of course, we have a very nice interior, especially compared to the Chevy Bolt, but I also have wireless charging, and that's now included on 2020 Priuses, except for the Limited. But the interior here is decent. It's not ultra luxury. It's just basically decent car, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I know a lot of millennials, or actually all of them, want a Tesla for some reason. But you got to remember, the Prius was the original eco, chic, fashionable car. And somehow Toyota's fallen out of that grace. And I think that's a good thing because now having a Prius doesn't really mean you're an eco hippie. It really just means you're an eco hippie if you have a Tesla, because the Prius has been around since before phones had color screens and even integrated cameras. And this still shows its age as well. I mean, it has a foot brake, for instance. It won't even hold itself in stop and go traffic. So this car is really woefully out of date as far as technology. And I can see why you want a Tesla. But if you don't want that eco hippie green image, now you can get a Prius and get away with it. Now, when it comes to the driving experience, it is pretty bland. However, we do have some driving assistance in here. So it's not completely devoid of technology. It has blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, pedestrian detection at night. It's pretty well set up. It even has parking, which is funny because there's a parking button there, and then there's a parking button here, and obviously that's for the transmission. So you don't want to get that confused in a busy parking lot. Of course, I've never really seen anyone use self-parking in a parking lot because I don't think anyone has the patience for it. But nice backup camera as well. And we also have the status of the hybrid system. So far, I've been averaging 45.3 mpgs, and I've done 220.1 miles on a half tank. So that's decent as well. So you'll see some of the chrome accents here have been blacked out for the 2021 edition. We also have some floor mats that say 2020. And overall, you know, they're only making 2,020 of these. So if you feel like you need a Prius, I think this one is slightly expensive for what you can get, but overall, you can't go wrong over a Tesla, because this is several $1,000s cheaper than anything on the market that's an EV. And you have more convenience than an EV because you don't have to wait an hour and a half or 2 hours to get a full charge at fast charging. Thanks for watching.